All right. So welcome everyone to our joint health and balance class. This is our Wednesday morning class. This is about week four, maybe three or four. So anyways, let's go ahead and begin. So I have a lot of obstacles here and mosquitoes around. So let's just start on our feet. Romberg stance, feet next to each other. And we're just gonna be here hanging out. Just try to stay straight, compose. Just stay there. Okay. All right, yeah. So if we have, let's look left to right. If we have any issues, again with enrollment, please just email me. Um, you know, the courses that you are in, and then I could add you to the other courses that you are missing. Up and down. Mhm. Very good. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. Let me breathe normally. Open your eyes. Oh, very good. All right, let's go ahead and just do some snow angels. Just over here. Yeah, so those actually, I was just thinking of something for those of you that are missing a class and you want to add, just stay with me here at the end. I'll go over a way where you could do it on your end, and it's probably gonna be a lot more streamlined than sending variation of IDs and course numbers to this person. So I could show you. So just hang tight after. Shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Bring that right arm across. Left arm. And just relax. All right, very good. We're gonna go ahead and do slow high knee marches. So just slowly bring the knee up as high as possible. Very good. All right. We're gonna do a quad stretch, so feel free to hover a hand over a table or a chair, counter. So let's go ahead and start with the right ankle. So right above the ankle, you want to hold on. Just pull back. Making a nice stretch on that quad. Does this cause anyone pain? Would switch. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna do our tandem stance now. Okay, so right foot in front of our left. Okay, let's look left to right. So left to right. Up and down. All right, and this is where it gets tricky. So let's close our eyes. You can always hover your hand over an area. Open your eyes. Very good. So that back foot, let's elevate. So if we're here, just elevate the toes. It could be, a few inches, or it could just be half an inch off the ground, but we do want to elevate it. Okay, and from here, we're going to drive that knee from back here up and back up. Just changing our center of gravity a little bit and reach back. Back in. Okay. And then now let's go with our, no, not our right side. We could do this one with the right side. So again, just elevate that hind leg, our right foot, then drag that knee up and reach up, reach. Very good. All righty. We're gonna do let's just do some standing stretches first. So let's go here and let's go with the gentle trunk rotation. Let's go ab circles. So hinge at your hip, thumb across, pump, and repeat. Let's go with big hula hoops, big hip circles. Yeah, I think what I'll do for the canvas tiles, so it's super obvious switch. I think in the summer, what I would do would be, have a tile that said Monday, and you could see, a cartoon of the word Monday. So you need to click on that tile on Monday and Tuesday and then Wednesday, so forth all the way to Saturday. So I think I'll do the same, but I'll put one that says Monday, 9 a.m. And then you can see it bright and clear. Let's go ahead and do our either left foot in front of our right. And then, so yeah, so I think I'll just make it that way. So, if we see six different tiles and you're like, oh shoot, I don't know which one to click, you'll know to pick the appropriate one. Let's say Monday and Wednesday at 9 or Monday and Wednesday at 10. And that's the one you just click for that session. We're gonna just kind of hover here. Let's look left to right, up and down. All right, let's close our eyes. Open your eyes. All right, very good. All right, let's have a seat. Let our arches heal a little bit. Grab a little bit of water if you like. If you have a bagel nearby like me and you want to eat a little bit of it, go for it. All right, so over here, let's go ahead and sit in our left hand. bring our right hand over and drop that elbow. Go ahead and switch. Sit on that right hand, bring that left hand over. Right, very good. All right, we did our neck circles. Let's do our shoulder circles. So we're gonna be here, drop your elbows down, up, forward, down, back. All right, now in reverse, so up, back, down, forward. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and make your hands, clench them together, straight in front of you. Look down and punch forward. Bring your head down as you're doing that and reset. Or repeat, down, punch, reset again. Again. Down, punch. Two more. Down, punch. One more. Very good. All right, let's do our cat scratching pose. So sit towards the front of the chair. Try to separate your knees so your torso hopefully fits between your legs here. So you have that range of motion there. So reach up towards the ceiling, stretch diagonally, and keep that back straight and reset. All right, we're gonna do 8 of these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more, 6, 7, last one, and 8. Very good. Awesome. All right, we're gonna do a neutral grip shoulder press motion. Okay, so arms right here, almost like in this hammer grip. So right here, pretty much keeping your arms aligned with where your ears are. Just go up. Up. Two more. Last one. Very good. All right, just a little bit of work for the biceps. So arms just out and just tap that opposite shoulder. Pretty light over here. Tap that opposite shoulder. All right, elbow at your side and pull that forearm in, out. Is anyone traveling internationally this summer?
Yes,
Where are we going?
we're going to Iceland and then getting on a cruise.
Wow. Left arm? Where's the cruise going?
It it
North Pole?
ends in the UK, so
Okay,
it stops in multiple places.
awesome.
So,
That'll be fun. How long is that? 2 weeks, maybe?
yeah.
Okay, cool. Very fun.
I think I'll miss class at that time.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Let's go ahead and do our tricep press down. I only bring that up because I don't know if it's the case still, but when we initially went into Zoom and remote, I remember I had a trip to not far into Mexico, but in Baja California, so about 3 hours from the border. And I was out there, and I'm thinking, well, it's remote. I could teach, and I have internet out here. And anyway, so I'm not sure. I think it was Canvas didn't recognize like the internet from out there, so it didn't allow me to log in to Canvas. So I don't know if that's something that got fixed or is allowed, but just yeah, in case that is a thing. So has anyone attempted to log in outside of the country? Let's go through drop and successfully logged in? Because yeah, last time I tried it didn't let me. So and it definitely works out of the state, but out of the country, I'm not sure if it allows it. So we're bringing that form down. Very good. Let's go left arm. Yep. Let's drop that form. Very good. Awesome. All right. We're gonna go ahead and just relax the shoulders a little bit. So let's go ahead and just knees are facing forward. Rotate your trunk to the right. Left hand's holding the seat. Right hand is holding the backrest and just turn lightly. Sure it's not painful. Reach a little bit more. Very good. All right. Let's look left. Do the same. Reach a little more. And relax. All right. Now we're going to go with hip openers. The knees are facing forward. And let's stick out our right knee to our side and add a little bit of pressure with your hand here to make sure that hip is open. Try to step a little bit further. Right, and then let's switch. And just left here. Yeah, so again, appreciate all of you for re-enrolling. I know sometimes we have department meetings and some instructors are stressing about getting numbers so their classes don't get canceled and all of that stuff. Um, but you guys that have, stuck with me and yeah, continue to re-enroll. You guys pretty much keep these classes alive. I know every semester we get a few new folks, but sometimes, yeah, we do lose a couple people. Um, but yeah, but you guys are like the core of this, these sessions and these courses. All right, reset. We're gonna go with our piriformis stretch. So right ankle on that left knee. So now I'm gonna be in the same shoes as the instructors that are, trying to get their numbers up. I'm gonna be on that boat, but at Irvine Valley, because those classes are just starting. So who knows? I gotta make some ads on Facebook or on the Nextdoor app or make some flyers for those classes.
Julio, send us a link so that we can.
Okay,
Um,
I will. Yeah. That's add a little bit of pressure. I haven't yet, just because I think summer enrollment begins. I think it's late next week. Um, so yeah, I just didn't want to send something and then there's no access to it. So, but yeah, so I appreciate that. And I think the two courses they gave me in the summer over there, let's bring that up. It's on Monday is like a health and fitness class, like I pretty much just like our regular Monday class. That's gonna be from 11:30 to 12:45. And then on Wednesday will be our how it is here, pretty much what we're doing right now, from 11:30 to 12:45. So a lot easier of a schedule than the confusion here at the moment. But yeah, so let's bring that left ankle on that right knee. And the person that's been working with me um at Irvine, she's pushing to also get me two additional classes in the fall. So I could maybe get four classes over there. So I need to reach out to her because right now it says I only have two, but she wanted to get me two more. And for those classes, I believe it's just the Zoom component. Just log in and go to Zoom. I think there's Canvas, but the Canvas is just gonna have the Zoom link. There's no like educational stuff to it. It's just a Zoom link. It's push down.
Julio, for Irvine Valley, do we have to like apply and to become a student, or is that part of this same
No,
set?
yeah, it's the same. Sorry, it's not the same. It's a different district. So yeah, you would have to, and I think it's pretty similar to what the system is here, which I'm about to show when we're done. But I think you just go to like make an account and it asks for like your information. I think for like new students here at Santa Ana, it's really easy. Um, you fill out, a couple of digital forms. It's a lot easier than it is, I could tell you, than when I'm recruiting high schoolers that are trying to get their general education stuff. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's Come back here, sit towards the front, recline back, bring your knee towards your chest. So for like the high schoolers, they have to pretty much fill out financial aid, their parents' information. They have to do a bunch of stuff. And I think for these classes, yeah, it's just 1 or 2 pages of forms. And again, it's all digital. And I think most of the information is, yeah, just like your address, your contact information, all that, and then like a quick questionnaire. So I think the Irvine one should be similar. I
So
know
is it
sometimes,
is it like a mature student, emeritus,
yeah,
whatever section?
it's through their Emeritus Institute. So yeah, it's the Irvine Valley College Emeritus Institute. So it might show Saddleback College as well, because it's Saddleback and Irvine Valley that are in the same district. So, and I know for the emeritus or active adult courses, they try to make them as simple and as tech easy as possible. So there's no too much difficulty with technology there. So that was a reason I think I got hired. Because they asked me, they're like, okay, everyone wants to teach online classes, but they've never done it, or they just think it's gonna be an email and here it is, and you're done. And no, and I kind of explained to them in detail how I do it here, and just the communication, and how I make the like billboards of like click here for the Zoom link type of thing. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's what we need. Like pretty much after that meeting, they're like, all right, we're hired. Like they're like, we don't want them to like go through this adventure to find the Zoom link. Like make it as easy as possible. And I was like, oh yeah, we do that already. So let's go ahead and start with our chair squats. Okay. So we're here, no hands, come up. We're gonna do 8 of these. So we're gonna usually stab my heels into the floor. Two more. Last one. Very good. All right, catch your breath. A little breather. Okay, next, we're going to do a little bit more advanced, a single um, leg, individual leg. So I do want everyone to start working on these. So if you've never tried these, this is my knees next to each other, my feet next to each other. This is a little bit more advanced, but what you could do is just bring your foot a little bit closer. And if you've never tried these, just try maybe having your right toe about an inch or two in front of your left toe. And that's gonna, put you a little bit unbalanced, but also make the right leg a little bit stronger. Okay, so whatever distance you want, but let's start trying to make some progress. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So again, this is, you could tell the difference even if you shift your foot a couple inches. But once you're fully extended or even just on your heel, that's when it's really challenging. And if you're already past that, then you could always elevate that leg so you can keep it up. Now we're on one leg. So we're doing 8 of these. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Very good. All right. Catch your breath. You okay, Jen? All right. we're gonna go with the left foot, so extend it or a little bit forward. Remember, it doesn't have to be much, but we do want to start, you know, updating our stance a little bit. So that's working that leg. That's a bent. This one I'm working a little bit harder. Got two more. Very good. All right, now that we're here, let's go ahead and do a little bit of, hip rotation. So just, I like lifting my right leg, holding my hamstring, my thigh, and just rotating that right foot as far out as I can. Okay, so just rotate it. And again, there could be little movement or not much movement at all, but just go as far as that right foot could swing out. And again, I know the movement's happening at the foot. That's where we're seeing the most movement, but the rotation's happening at your hip. So if you put your hand right here on your pelvis, the hip area, you'll feel that. All right, let's switch legs. Hold the other leg, elevate it. About some more. Awesome. All right. Very good. Okay. Let's go with our ABCs. Over here, elevate your foot and just trace the letters of the alphabet. We'll get through these, and then we'll do our standing shoulder stretches, and then we'll call it for today. And I'll go over the enrollment if anyone wants to stick around. I think it'd just be a good idea for most of you, if not everyone, wants to stick around, just in case you do want to see what other classes are available. You could always enroll in some other ones, but yeah, it's pretty easy. I don't think it's changed much from 5 years ago. I thought they would update it, but it looked pretty familiar from a few years back. All right, and then just work on our arches real quick. So keep your feet flat on the floor and just grip the floor, pull your toes towards your heel. All right, very good. All right, let's put that chair away for now. And then let's grab our broomstick, our foam roller, and we're gonna do our shoulder stretches right now. So I'll give you a minute to look for that. All right. So we're here, let's go left to right. All right, focus on that left shoulder. So push with your right hand, guide with your left hand. All right, 30 degrees forward. $60. 90, right in front of you. Jan's about 45 seconds ahead of us right now. And then now towards the back. Yeah, I think in June, I'm trying to go visit my sister in Washington and might do a week's worth of Zoom teaching from her place. So hopefully it works out. All right, right side. All right, let's go ahead. So right shoulder.
See you next week.
All right, Jan, take care.
Bye. Thank
All right.
you.
All right, 30 degrees. All right, 60. $90. Towards the back. All right, and then let's go behind the back, up and down. And then lift. And
Gigi would come up to get her.
what was that?
But she made. We had to make the box and she good. No, because I felt like she wanted to give it to. She
Let
said
me
she was
go
giving it.
ahead and end this recording. Okay, stop the recording. So as I